Good afternoon, everybody. I will try all the other related topics. We are organizing a 6-month trainings, and it is mandatory to work on a 3-month module, which composes a introduction, then an initiation process for some firms providing their very first professional experience, and at the same time developing their IT skills, and for the employers the capacity to have a not so costing skills that you cannot fetch within the labor market just to satisfy a lack of 35,000 profiles. So it is a huge problem, and we need to propose some alternatives. We are working in consultation with other partners, some universities, ULB, Université Libre de Bruxelles, and we are working also with other actors of Sen Capital, which is Brussels Capital, that is taking in charge the training of young people. During those 3 months where the young people is going to be within the firm, he or she is going to take in charge the basic skills, the basic tasks, to understand how he or she can develop and can create that he can make use of, or he or she can make use within another firm. So we are developing also some short-term trainings that are developed with activists, Photoshop, HTML trainings, etc. Such trainings. And what they are going to do also, because as we are not finding the solution within traditional trainings, is to create altogether with the firms some personal shaped trainings that are satisfying. That's what is at stake. That's the challenge. We might have talked about it during the plenary presentations. Another important aspect is the pedagogy that is behind, which is of utmost importance, is to see those young people working all together. There is no difference between boys and girls with this sense of responsibility. They have something to add, they have something to contribute with, so they need to invest from their times to the community. Everybody within the classroom is going to be a moderator for another class maybe, so they need to have this self-esteem, they need to be self-confident. For the young, fresh students, they are establishing confidence relationships with the system that was proposed to them, and it is very intelligent from the instigators. It is a method that we call in English learning by doing. It was because I have some French words that keeps escaping me, because I was supposed to present my presentation in English, but I'm coping with it. So in parallel to what you might have seen on the scheme of the other activities, they have what they call the factory. The factory is the place where this incubator program has been proposed, and they could develop and create 25 startups like the one put into example, like for example Molenbeek, inciting to the renting and delivery systems by bikes. It is an ecological product. E-Context, which is an online competition. Aloha News is providing and presenting online pieces of information, and also interviews or press articles, etc. So different startups that were created thanks to them. Then they are also working to promote the IT with schools at a very early age. namely by the installation of some programs. It might be one way to avoid people leaving schools at an early age, which is really suffering or threatening the region of Belgium. For all the people that have not completed their first cycle of primary schools, and they are not succeeding nor studying for the high school diploma, so they might find themselves in face of different difficulties. Then the idea here is to explain to them that other alternatives are proposed. They can be introduced to encoding. They can get access to some internet-based jobs. They can even propose to them during holidays some sessions of coding week for people between 11 to 18 years, and it is open and dedicated specifically to girls. And it is something very funny, because I have seen a school on live, and they are taking some selfie pictures with their mobile phones, with their moderators, and sometimes it can last for a full week, sometimes it's just during the weekend. And they are organizing also some events which corresponds and satisfies and appeals the young people, specifically the beginners, and to incite them, to encourage them to create their own startup. To be speaking, it is hackathon. It has a theme. The last one is Accu Life, and the idea behind is to appropriate some everyday objects, to transform an everyday tools and devices into something creative. And they are organizing also some trips towards some tech ops, like for example Silicon Valley in the United States. And here I propose now a brief video sequence so as to explain to you better how things are working, and how they have created some startups and the challenge by Samsung. And what I'm proposing, it's like a small brief competition. Young people, they are there by a Saturday morning, and they start to work on a given concept, and on Sunday they need to present it in front of a committee of jury that is going to award them a mark, and they might even win some prizes, or why not, to benefit from a training or a scholarship within those enterprises. So please, can you broadcast the video? والدي عارف تيران والو دي لا جي 30 عفاك دي لا جي 30 كاع So, after this video, they benefit from some external devices, and they have other partners, like for example, Sarnekars, that you might know all, and all the other programs that they can benefit. And it's concentrating and oriented into the region of Brussels, the capital, and it is existing since 5 years, and they have tried it first to establish the connection between Belgium and Morocco. They have sent a group of students to Oujda in the east of Morocco, and they have tried to generalize this experience in here, where normally some young people originating from this region, some Moroccan Belgian people originating from there could pay a visit to their to Morocco and exchange experiences, and why not to generalize this idea. So it is a project established on 5 years, and now I'm proposing you other trainings that, and I'm inviting you to go now to another neighborhood in Brussels, that is about the post-production devices and others. And as a conclusion, just to provide you with some figures, some percentage to show what it is representing. The 300 beneficiary people, it is an ongoing process, so we cannot give you an exact figure about the number of beneficiary people. It is a fresh project that is still on its embryonic step, and we are trying to incite more and more young people to come and get, but more or less we can say that we are at the midway. Once a young person is getting and registering within this program, we are trying to analyze his or her situation and trying to orient him or her into what suits him or her, depending on their aspirations. But to leave school, it is very important. Thank you very much. And my last slide would be to the success stories, to offer a very first professional experience and an economic ecosystem. Thank you very much.